So when is an Audi TT Mk1 not an Audi TT Mk1 but still an Audi TT Mk1? Well, when it is this wonderful creation by Audi that's packing a 2.7 litre turbocharged V6 engine. Yes, you heard right. It's an Audi TT Mk1 with a turbocharged V6 engine from the factory. And what's more, I saw this vehicle in the flesh last year at the Vorsprung show on one of its very rare public appearances right now, which you can see a link to that video above. But stay tuned for its story and all the details about this beautiful car. When I was walking around the Vorsprung show last year, one of the TT Owners Group administrators came up to me and he said, "Have I seen the yellow TT that's currently sitting on the Audi Heritage stall?" On first glance and from a distance, I thought, yep, this looks a lovely clean Imlay yellow TT. But that is when I thought, something seems amiss with this car. Upon looking under the bonnet, it was suddenly apparent there was something very different about this vehicle. An engine swap perhaps, or some engine bay hardware to brighten up the power plant. Well, we're on the right lines, but we're only scratching the surface of what is going on here. Now, I must say a massive thank you to a good friend of mine, Frank Schmulders, who made researching this car much easier. He has a website dedicated to the Mk1 that is full of interesting information and facts about this car, amongst many other things for the Audi TT Mk1. I will leave a link to it in this description. I highly recommend checking it out to find out about this car and much more about the Audi TT Mk1. So please do visit www.audi-tt.eu for all the information. Anyway, let's crack on with the story of this car. We need to go back in time, all the way back to 2001. At this time, your only option for the Audi TT Mk1 from the factory was the 1.8 turbo engines that were producing at most 225 brake horsepower. This was 2 years before Audi brought us the 3.2 normally aspirated V6 that we know today. But Audi wanted more. The clever guys over at Quattro GmbH were looking to turn the fast but not breakneck fast TT into a serious sports car. But rather than shoehorn an oversized engine into a rather compact car, they instead took a 2.7 litre twin-turbo V6 Audi RS4 platform and shortened it to fit a TT body that was placed over the top. Now, this posed some serious challenges for the engineers. Most notably, the A4 engine is mounted longitudinally and the TT transversely in the front. The A4 Quattro and the TT Haldex are quite different. And the wheelbase of the A4 is 260 cm and the TT just 243 cm. How can you make a much longer car fit in the shorter body of the TT? Well, they solved this problem by cutting off 17 cm of the wheelbase of an RS4 while maintaining the rest of the platform. With the adjusted length, the TT body would fit just. Next up was the engine bay. The transverse engine and twin turbos was never going to fit into a standard engine bay, so instead the bumpers were modified and brought forward by a few centimetres. This is very apparent when you see the car side on, as the nose of the car is more pronounced and the air scoops on the bumpers are enlarged. Even the headlights look recessed into the bumper with it moving forward. Due to the nature of the RS floor pan, you do notice when looking inside the car that there is also a much larger tunnel that runs through the cabin to cope with the Quattro running gear. But the engineers carried on with their design. The rear of the car has this large flat spoiler that is reminiscent of the ABT cars that again came much later. A little nod to the styling to come perhaps? Some features that did make their way into the mainstream, on the Quattro Sport models at least, were the use of Recaro pole position seats and the Alcantara steering wheel. Of course, it would be another 4 years until these made their debut in the Quattro Sport. And talking of performance and improvements, the RS4 engine itself was tweaked even further. Not satisfied with the 380 brake horsepower that the standard V6 twin turbo produced, this was boosted up to 450, the equivalent at the time to the output of the Porsche 911 Turbo S. The 450 brake horsepower got the car down the road from 0 to 60 in just 4.8 seconds. That's mighty impressive for a 2001 car. As was pointed out to me, you can see here it has a much deeper scuttle panel that has been fabricated due to the RS4 running gear encroaching into the engine bay, and even the suspension turrets and struts are much further forward, again retained from the RS4. It has permanent four-wheel drive and a top speed of 290 km per hour or 180 miles an hour. That's enough for anyone. The wheels are 8.5J and it has large diameter tyres at 255 by 35 by 18, not quite on par with an ABT though. While this is the only one ever made, it is a fully working car and it has over 15,000 miles put on the clock in the first 18 months of its existence, all to test the concept. Sadly, the variant never made it into production and it is not street legal, but the evidence is there to see that the increasingly powerful models that followed, such as the 3.2 V6 and the Quattro Sports, had some of their roots in this concept. With the use of the RS4 platform and the TT body, can this be classed as the first true TTRS? What a fantastic car, and probably one that you are not aware of, or you may think it's a myth that no one has actually seen. But from time to time, Audi Heritage do roll this vehicle out for us all to marvel at, and I feel very privileged to have seen it in the flesh. If you've enjoyed this video on this 2.7 litre turbocharged V6 Audi TT Mk1, then please do give the video a thumbs up, and also think about subscribing to my channel if you've not already done so, where you'll find a whole host of content on the Audi TT Mk1. As always, thanks for watching and see you soon. Take care.